thing is he only knows the headlines, and that's why I want to have a proper conversation with him, so he can understand the articles within the headline. You know?
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
Because like the headlines are like, "Wild man wearing red shirt murdered 5 puppies," but in the grand scheme of
article,
things,
it doesn't say that he saved them 5 puppies or whatever. He was trying to save
yeah,
them from a bear. I get
yeah,
it. I get it. You know, he's not
you know,
gone into detail. No, I totally get it, man. I totally get it. I hope you have that conversation soon, though.
yeah. We'll see. We'll see. We'll
What?
see.
What are we talking? What we
Otherwise,
talking
you know,
about now,
I
bro?
think my main goal is just to bring like the group morale together, and we always, because the other day, with Steve's chain, I think people realize if you let Moses cook, he can cook decent plans. And the reason why he doesn't cook usually is because everyone will shut him off and be like, "Oh, you're just waffling. You're just waffling. You just a waffle. This." But I feel like that was a good example to show the boys, like,
Right.
hey, if someone has an idea, someone has something they want to actually do, let's go with it instead of shutting it down. You know?
Right. Let me ask you a quick question. Is
Mhm.
anybody in MDMA anymore?
No.
Waffle to waffle.
Just
Oh, but mate.
No, and
I think we do have a
because
we do have an issue.
I think that's more of a conversation me and T need to have.
Right.
Yeah.
So what about this whole structure of having MDMA for a while and figuring stuff out and
So
shit like
that happened. But the issue is, that's what the high command was supposed to be there for, and they were not supposed to know about the bench. So that was gonna be certain things. There was more. They wouldn't be
Nah, none of us know about the bench, so that's solved, isn't it?
Yeah.
What?
Wait, what's
What's
that,
that?
Denzel?
I said, nah, none of us know about that, so that's problem solved, isn't it? Really, we don't even need the. It's one less thing to hide.
And then it was more like when we have certain meetings, there would be chain meetings versus a collective meeting with everyone.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I gotta ask you a question here, man. You know,
Mm-hmm.
this is a very important question, but you know, I've been going so long, so I need to know the answer to this.
Mm-hmm.
Has Winston been around?
Here and there, yeah. He'll
Good.
be around like on and
You
off.
better be. You better be here today, bitch. That's all I know. Better
Why's
be
that?
here. Because I miss his old ass.
Oh.
I miss him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's been a lot of RP. I think that's what we got to realize. Like sometimes it isn't waffling, sometimes it's role play. You know, might be a lot of talking, but there's a lot of role play that comes from talking chat. You know.
All right. So
Like, it's just the same thing over and over again that gets to me.
Matt's the leader for today, right?
Yeah.
Shouldn't he have been awake about 2 hours ago, though? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are y'all doing? You know what I'm saying? It's not really good leader role.
Matt's been sleeping in a lot lately.
Obviously, don't want to be. He don't want to be my leader.
Shit, want to be Denzel's leader.
That's not good.
I mean,
you want to be who is leader?
Mine, obviously.
What? You want him to be leader?
No, I'm saying he obviously doesn't want to be my leader. Because I'll probably be asleep before he wakes up.
That's
but
crazy,
that's the thing
man.
is,
I mean, it's like if you were a teacher for the day. You know, you're gonna be in there early.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
substitute teacher.
In fairness, you know, regardless of who's leader, I'll still respect him the same. You know, because hierarchy's hierarchy to me.
Yeah. No, that's the same with me. Like, I can't lie. If I was being a little shithead, I think Matt would understand my position more. Or if I was acting like
no, but
Matt,
that's on you to do because at the end of the day,
but I'm not like that though.
No, I understand it.
Yeah. I'm not like that to. Like, I'm gonna show Matt the respect I would want if I was in his position. You know.
So did it? So have I missed out on anything else, or has it pretty much just been T came back? He's pissed off. He didn't want high command or whatever, so he for whatever reason, and then Matt's the leader for the day. That's all that's happened.
That happened. He was pissed about. Oh, you might want to talk to him about the whole what's it called, meth shit, because it seems like he doesn't have the full story to all of that and Bloom and this and that.
Why?
That's
what's happened there?
Because from my understanding, he thinks like, yes, there were things that maybe could have been done differently if you look at it like a 2020 view. But I don't think he has the full story
Why? So
from what
what's so is it what? So he said stuff to people in regards to that.
he just was like, that was a mess up. Um, I think that's something you'll probably have to talk to him like properly.
Yeah, I'm just see
He made fun of.
with that kind of situation. Like, there's a lot of members of the Mandem that are aware of how that situation went down, but not a single member, is willing to tell him the true story. And that's what we do a lot of. I'll be honest. It's easier to let somebody else be shit on than back them. I feel like that's kind of what we do, because I think sometimes we feel like if it's not, it's just good if it's not me getting shit on, But that's fine.
No,
I'm happy
that.
to have a conversation with him. No issues. Like, not a problem.
Yeah.
But if, like I say, it's just a shame to hear that, these people that I'm in a gang with, that I would have every one of their backs, and if I feel like something's unfair, at this stage that we're at now, I feel like I'd speak up on it.
I think the
but it's
issue
just
with
unfair to see that other people are not willing to do it for everyone.
No, 100%. And I think the issue with that conversation is I don't think we really had space to speak, because in the grand scheme of things, in that conversation, there were things about Jay and Sparky I wanted to also elaborate on. It's just the vibe of that specific conversation was more of shut up and let me speak, and give me a yes or no.
Absolutely. So what's so what have you heard being said about it? Because he already knew about the drug trafficking shit, because he
knows, but
well, I mean, he knew because I told him 6 months ago.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I think he knows, but I think he's missing a lot of detail, or he's forgotten a lot of detail. So
I mean, it's a very simple story, Jay Harper, a non-Mandem member, was pushing meth in Mandem turf, under the approval of all of us,
Yeah.
not something that I did on my own. We made sure that that was okay with everybody. We all agreed the money was going to the Mandem. Obviously, he was caught, and then I was raided for being an accomplice to that operation. It went to court. There was no evidence provided of any investigation. There was no evidence provided that I was actually doing anything. But unfortunately, due to what was found in my apartment, I was charged with accomplice of drug trafficking. So it's just an unfortunate, that's, I suppose I got off as lightly as I could, rather than being fined the 10 million, my house, my car, my bike, my mats, I paid 750 and it was left at that. But that's just because of what they found inside my apartment. Unfortunately, that can't be ignored. So I'm unsure.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, that must be missing. So I mean, what was the main concern? Was it people selling in the turf, or like non-Mandem, or
the gas station? Yeah.
So I mean, so we had a problem with people selling at the gas station. So I mean, I'm sure all the people that he said it to went, oh, actually, no, we all sold there. No.
No.
Oh,
the thing
right,
is,
okay.
no, but the thing about that conversation is the vibes of that conversation was like, don't speak.
Yeah,
it's
no, fair
it's
enough.
a yes or no, yes or no.
Yeah,
yes
like I
or
say,
no,
it's easy for me to say this like this when I wasn't there. Like I don't understand. And if he's on that energy, then I get what you mean. But
yeah,
at the end of the day,
I'm not gonna lie.
Like,
oh, sorry.
I've never sold a bag of meth in my life,
Yeah.
But it was a very Mandem thing. We went through a period of weeks or months where multiple members were selling weed, meth around that gas station. And I'll be honest, that's something that's been happening recently with weed. So let's not let's not all, I suppose, act surprised, that and try and put the blame on one person just because the worst case scenario happened. But that's fine. Like I said, I'm happy to have that conversation if he wants to have it,
No, 100%. And that's like because in that conversation, certain names were also mentioned, but there was no context to it. That's why I want to have that conversation with T, because it explains those names. Because in the grand scheme of things, if he's just looking at it from bulletin points, it's 90 times worse than it actually is.
I mean, long story short, I paid the price for me being involved in somebody selling drugs.
Yeah. it's the same way I paid the price of going to the bench alone. I lost that opportunity for me and you. Because
But it's one of those like
yeah.
nobody like there was all this talk about you know, him doing this, that, and everything, that Bloom doing all the rest when he was like, supposedly doing an investigation. That's why it took so long. But he didn't do anything. There was nothing presented in court. There was nothing done. You know?
Yeah.
Because there was nothing found. You know, the way that we ran that operation was as good as it could be. Unfortunately, me going to the gas station incriminated me to the point where I was warranted to a raid. I mean, obviously, is that raid warranted? I mean, to this day, you know, it's still a yes or a no. You know what I mean? Like, but it is what it is. I paid the price. I did the time. We move on.
Yeah. No, I just mentioned it because it seemed like, I don't know if he knew the whole story, if he didn't, but it was more about like, maybe it's something that you can explain to him better, you know?
Oh yeah, no. I mean, if he wants to have a chat about it, I'm more than welcome to. But
yeah. I think that's the thing is like, especially with a lot of my stuff, because in that meeting there were like names said where without context it looks 900 times worse than it actually is. I just need that proper conversation with T, you know?
yeah, I mean, I just think it's just very it says more about the people, like other people, if when T's come back after what, 6 months absence, and I'm getting painted in the light, whereas the only thing I've done is gotten drug trafficking or, you know, or selling meth at a gas station. If that's the only thing, you know, that has been mentioned and people have let you know, that run, and that kind of yeah, I'm that says enough to me about other people, you know.
Preach. Oh, preach.
Because I'm not gonna
I agree with
lie,
you.
I don't care about getting a thank you or anything for the shit that I do for this gang, but nobody can say that I haven't been consistent in the stuff that I've done, you know.
Yeah,
I'm not always massively opinionated, because sometimes I feel like my opinion isn't even necessary, you know. And I'm not really a very outspoken person, you know. And I just get on with it. I just, you know, keep my head down and do things behind the scenes to kind of move us forward and keep us in a stable position, you know. And obviously with your, you know, everything that you did for me in regards to like putting me in that position so I can do that, you know, I was able to do it. And it just seems, like I said, I'm not saying anybody specifically, but if people have been around, you know, that being mentioned, maybe they have kind of said there's more to it. I mean, I'm sure, like I say, you would have done if it was said to yourself. But yeah, like you say, you said there's probably more to it. You should probably have a chat with him, kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know 100% to it, but that conversation we had was, we were all lined up and it was yes, no, don't elaborate, don't add to it. Because even with like when he brought up a question about respect, I mentioned a couple names.
100%.
But even when I tried,
Denzel went from the most caution paranoid to reckless what he was selling on a
answer
clean
the question
business.
directly, you know?
So okay, I don't know whether you know much about the drug trafficking stuff, but Denzel wasn't selling meth, mate.
I don't know if he knows to the extent of how much you've done, but he knows you do. Like, you've been like my right hand man, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
but in that conversation, it wasn't elaborated on. And
yeah, I'll be honest, I'm not really. It's not about like how much I've done and this and that. I just would have expected, you know, the narrative to not be ran with, that the only thing I did while he was away was get drug trafficking. Does that make sense? And if that's what's been pushed, then that's
that way.
That's quite that's quite hurtful to me. You know, being part of a gang where I consider everybody my friends, everybody my family. You know, for that to be for people to know what I do, and then for that to be pushed and ran with, yeah, just sting. I'll be honest. The high command shit, I couldn't obviously give a. I honestly, I'll be honest. I already said this to you, and I gave my opinions on it. Yeah. It was an amazing idea that could have worked really well. Unfortunately, it just wasn't the time for it, you know, because I think it's very hard for high command to high command nothing or themselves, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd say in that conversation.
Oh yeah, no, Suki, 100%, brother. No, I get that.
So I wouldn't say anyone like specifically in that conversation said anything bad, because no one really, like, none of us spoke
Mhm.
unless we were told to speak. But it is something maybe it's worth chit chatting to him about, you know?
Yeah, like I say, if he wants to have that conversation, I'm more than happy to have it. I'm not going to go. Well, what I'm not going to do, I'm not going to chase people around just to kind of like have a conversation to clear my name and like, oh my god, look at me, look how good I am. Because to be honest, I'm going to do what I do for
See, I
this
don't think that's the
game.
right way to look at it, though, because I feel like if context is missing, it's good that you talk to him about it. Like, even me, I need to go talk to him about names I've mentioned. I need to go talk to him about X, Y, and Z. I need to talk to him about, you know, certain
Yeah.
things I'm doing wrong, and even get guidance or advice from him. So I think you're looking at it in like a negative way where it shouldn't be a negative, because you're going to talk to T in that sense isn't an issue, especially when it's your own personal issue.
Okay. No, fair enough. Yeah, understand. I just don't want to be another problem. You know what I mean?
No, 100%.